This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we have to talk about the remaining balance upload, cash, bank, stock. Let me put everything and then I'll remove the ones which we've already discussed. Customer, vendor, fixed asset is already discussed. This one we will try to talk about today. So one of the important point from your trial balance which you have to pick out is your cash account. When you're talking about cash account, you're talking about petty cash GL account or cash journal related GL account. For every cash account, we would have configured a functionality called cash journal. For every cash account, for every cash, wherever you're operating, whether it is your local currency or it is your group currency, there will be a available cash balance as on the last key date in your legacy system. For example, if you're migrating or if you're moving from your legacy system, Oracle, for example, to SAP system on March month. Now there must be some available cash in the month of February which you declared as closing a cash balance as on February closing in the trial balance. The same closing a cash balance must be uploaded into SAP as opening a cash balance. To load any cash opening balance into SAP, first thing, any cash account that you talk about, manual entries in the cash account are strictly not allowed. We don't recommend posting manual JVs or manual entries to cash account because cash account is subject to daily reconciliation, and for every cash account there will be a functionality called petty cash or cash journal. What we will do as part of your cash journal configuration, we know that there are different business transactions to record any cash journal entry in SAP. Similarly, there will be one business transaction created which will represent as opening balance upload or legacy balance upload. There will be a dedicated business transaction created with the name of opening a cash balance upload. For that business transaction, you have to load the opening a cash balance, meaning whatever the cash account balances that you have in your trial balance. Let's say there are 10 cash accounts or 20 cash account, 30 cash account, depending on the trial balance, depending on how your client is using petty cash. Accordingly, open the respective cash journal number. In FBCJ transaction code, open the respective cash journal number, go to cash receipt, open the business transaction, opening balance upload or legacy data upload. Here you need to put the closing cash balance, whatever is available in your trial balance against that particular cash account, and the offsetting the GL account must be selected as your legacy data takeover GL account or migration GL account. Put this migration GL account, put some comment, opening balance upload for petty cash whatsoever. Put this balance and load it on or post it on February month, so that when your user is opening the petty cash screen in the month of March, when the SAP has gone live, they can straight away see what is the opening balance of cash in the cash journal screen. Now this data they are able to see because you uploaded the cash with the help of cash journal. Instead of uploading with cash journal, if you try to upload with JV upload, debit cash account, credit the data takeover account, it will reflect in the GL account but not in the cash journal. We understood manual entries are not allowed in cash account. Strictly petty cash functionality must be used. For you to make sure cash balances are loaded, point number one. Point number two, petty cash transactions possible once you go live. You must load the opening balances of cash with the help of cash journal only. Okay, now for this accounting entry will be cash account debit, whatever the cash GL account you created. Credit is your data takeover account or migration GL account. Next one, when it comes to bank account, you need to upload the bank accounts manually only. It is manual JV, bank sub account debit credit, and then the offsetting account will be your data takeover account. But when you are passing this entry, you need to make sure you are able to segregate bank accounts according to the BRS functionality. When we are talking about according to BRS functionality, we know that whenever you are using any bank account, every bank account is subjected to BRS or bank reconciliation statement. Now this bank reconciliation statement can be a daily activity, can be a weekly activity, but you need to make sure at the end of the month your bank reconciliation is completed. Bank statement closing balance is exactly tallying with your bank main account GL account from your financials. In order to do it, you will do something called reconciliation. When you're talking about reconciliation, you're talking about all the bank transactions, whatever are posted in your accounting, whether these transactions are reconciled with your bank statement or not. Here you will be having reconciled transaction, unreconciled transaction. All the reconciled transaction must be moved to main account. All unreconciled transaction must stay in sub account only, meaning bank incoming account, bank outgoing account will store all the transactions which are not reconciled with the bank statement. Now what you have to do, you have to remember the concept here. When you're talking about banking, you're talking about main account, sub account concept. For every bank account, whatever your client is operating with, for each and every bank account, you have to create one bank main account and then different sub account depending on the incoming, outgoing, based on the different mode of payment. Check incoming, check outgoing, and then your transfer incoming, transfer outgoing, whatever the mode of payment which is available, which is applicable for your client. Accordingly, respective incoming account, respective outgoing account will be there. Now here when you are migrating the opening balances related to bank, make sure your bank main account is always non-open item GL account. Bank main account is always non-open item GL account. Your client will tell you this was my bank closing balance. When I say this was my bank closing balance, bank main GL account closing balance as on 29th February 2024. Now how you will validate that this is the correct closing balance? You can ask your client, can you show me your bank statement? Can you show me your bank statement for February 2024? He will show that this is the attached bank statement for February 2024. For February 2024, whatever was the bank closing balance, the same amount is supposed to be the bank closing balance in the GL account. For the bank main account, when you verify this, yes, this is correct, you will straight away post only one single entry because this is reconciled balance. This is not a open item management. Whatever was the closing balance of the bank, the same balance you will load into the bank main account as a debit, and then the credit will be your data takeover account, because your bank account typically shows debit balance only, especially bank main account. Your entry will be for the bank main account, single entry only with the total closing balance of the particular month. Your bank main account will be debited, data takeover account will be credited. This is straightforward, no more confusions here. But when it comes to sub account, when we are talking about sub account, you are talking about bank check incoming account, bank check outgoing account, transfer incoming account, transfer outgoing account. Likewise, there may be different sub accounts depending on the client requirement. Once we created all these sub accounts, what you need to do, you need to look at each sub account balances. When I say each sub account balances, for example, you are talking about bank check outgoing account. Assuming we're talking about bank check outgoing account, for the bank check outgoing account, you have to see what is the check outgoing balance in your trial balance. Assuming your trial balance is showing somewhere around 300,000 or 3 lakh rupees. Now you need to ask how many line items are there in this bank outgoing account. Your client will tell there are around 245 line items. Some number they will tell. Okay, then they will give you these are the 245 line items in the bank check outgoing. Please migrate them. Just like that, you are not supposed to migrate line item wise, because anyways you are going to migrate line item wise. If there are 245 line items, you are going to post 245 separate documents into bank check outgoing for the purpose of bank reconciliation in SAP tomorrow. Once your SAP project has gone live, your client will be working on the BRS on a daily basis. When they are performing a BRS in SAP, make sure SAP will determine your bank statement and SAP will perform the reconciliation automatically. For system to do the reconciliation automatically, please make sure the relevant data is maintained in the document. Now, how your client will be performing the bank reconciliation after moving the data into SAP? Make sure we are all aware, whenever you perform bank reconciliation statement, majoritarily you are depending on two columns or two fields. One is your reference field, two is your assignment field. If you need to decide what is your bank reconciliation configuration, what is the logic that is adopted, whether we are identifying the bank transaction from the bank statement with the help of assignment field or with the help of reference field or any other custom field, any other document number or Are you using any custom algorithm? Accordingly, you need to make sure the data is captured and pushed into the respective field. For example, your bank statement is performing, or your bank statement is going to perform the reconciliation for all the checks based on the assignment column. If you assume that your bank statement is going to perform the matching based on the assignment column for all the bank outgoing check. Now what you need to do, whenever you load all the bank outgoing account, whenever you are loading bank outgoing account, all the 245 transactions, whatever is outstanding open, make sure in every account, in every line item, you have to input the original check number whatever was issued to the supplier from the legacy system. Because when you receive the statement, your bank account statement is going to contain the check number which you issued, and from where you issued the previous check, you issued the previous check from your legacy system. That is not equivalent to, or that is not similar to SAP check. SAP check may be different. So what you need to do here, you need to make sure legacy system check number you have to capture, you need to get it from the user. While uploading the bank check outgoing transaction, ensure the check number is updated in the assignment column for all the transaction. And then tomorrow, once they come into SAP, your client may want to know, by looking at this particular transaction, I want to know to which vendor we issued this check. I want to know what is this payment is all about. Then you cannot go back to the legacy system every time. What you need to do for that particular payment related, any other information if your client has got, for example, payment for XYZ vendor on so and so date for so and so document number, whatever the information that they have in their legacy system for this open payment transaction which is not yet reconciled with bank statement. All this information you need to capture. Whatever they would like to see after going live, make sure all this information is captured in the respective field. Meaning you have reference field, you have document header text field, you have assignment field, you have line item text field or item text field. Now in these four fields you need to map the data in such a way that tomorrow once you are performing the BRS, or if you have any queries with respect to BRS, make sure the data whatever you migrated is sufficient, can handle your queries. Otherwise they say that no, I do not know what is this payment is all about. Every time they cannot go back to the legacy system, every time they cannot depend on some other IT person, or they cannot depend on Excel sheets where they have taken the dump. Now when they load the data into SAP, especially when you are loading the data particularly related to bank account, you need to explain all these points, and accordingly you need to load the data. Else what will happen, they say that we are able to see the document but I do not know whether this is related to my same transaction in my legacy system or not. How can I connect this entry with my legacy system? If you don't update the legacy system details while migrating the open items into SAP, from where it will come? It will not come. So as a consultant, you need to make sure whether all the information related to a particular transaction is being captured or not. How you will confirm? You cannot just like that load whatever is given. You blindly load into SAP is not going to serve the purpose. This approach will give you unnecessary problems after go live. Because before go live everybody is in a hurry. They say that okay, everything is fine, please proceed further. If there are any corrections we will see later on, because that is what the comfort we as a consultant, we as a project team will provide it to your client. We give them a comfort that no, if anything is there we are there to help you, don't worry. Based on that confirmation, your user, your client will say okay, please go ahead, please move the things to the production. As you said, if there are any problems you will take care. But once there are any problems coming, we will not take care. Instead we start playing a game. No, you have whatever you have given, we have uploaded. They say that no, we are not aware, this will not come into SAP, nobody told us. Then comes the problems. To avoid all this kind of a problem, as a consultant, wherever whatever you are talking to your client, to the extent of your best, whatever the knowledge that you have, whatever you feel is the best practice, please suggest to them, please recommend them. If this is how you need to load the data. If you load the data like this, tomorrow when you perform the bank reconciliation in SAP, there will be no problem. Then they will understand, okay, we got your point, we will provide the data, or we will share the data in the similar format. Then accordingly they will try to update maximum information in the reference column, header text column or assignment line item text column, which will avoid a lot of queries once you go live. Otherwise, you will start receiving a lot of queries. They have to do the lot of reconciliation for every open item document that is migrated into SAP. They would like to identify the corresponding document from the legacy system, which may be easy, which may be difficult, because we do not know how their existing system data was mapped. Now, to avoid this, you need to make sure all these things are maintained. This is with respect to check outgoing. Similarly, when you have check incoming, if you have any check incoming and you have some open items in the legacy system, you are migrating those open items into SAP. What you will do, same logic. You need to capture all the information, but the key point that you need to look at here is how your check incoming account is cleared from BRS, because you would have already configured BRS functionality. According to BRS functionality, how system is going to clear your check incoming sub account. Based on that, you have to put the appropriate information in the assignment column or header text column or document number column, because it is all depending on the algorithms. You have interpretation algorithm. Based on the interpretation algorithm, system is going to perform the clearing or posting for the BRS. As per that, according to your configuration business requirement, make sure your legacy data is accordingly processed. Just like that, it is not about posting debit into bank account, credit into sub account, your data takeover account, overall balance is matching. Technically that is correct. But when you see it from the business point of view, when you see this from the user point of view, that may not be sufficient. That may not serve the purpose for your user to work on the BRS. They may face a lot of issues. They may face a lot of challenges in the first month itself, because without performing the bank reconciliation statement, they cannot close the month. They may say that, we are unable to perform the BRS because we are unable to match the transactions. They will simply say we are not able to perform the BRS as we are not able to match the transaction. Why they are not able to match the transaction? Because the matching data is missing. If it is related to check number is not there. If it is related to bank transfer, your transfer number, UTR number is missing. If it is related to any other purpose, that purpose is missing here. Because these things are missing while uploading the data into SAP, definitely when you perform the BRS will not be successful. Meaning you are not only supposed to think from the data point of view, whatever you are loading a debit credit, subsequent impact after your go live also you have to think, because you are the one who is going to support. And for the purpose of completing the cutover activity, if I load the data, debit credit balances are matching, if I give it to the user, once your go live has happened, user is going to sit on each and every transaction. They will verify it thoroughly, meaning they say that no, I'm not able to match it, I'm able to match it. If I cannot match this entry, I cannot post like this, because this will create a problem. I will get an audit query, or my manager will ask me why like this, my vendor will not accept, my customer will not accept, bank will not accept, or so and so department, so and so team will not accept if I post this entry. Please rectify, or please let me know if this entry can be changed so that my subsequent entry or my further entry can be posted. They might put queries. They talk from the business point of view now. It is no more from the technical point of view, it is all from the business point of view. They start explaining you the consequences, complications which they are going to receive from the business point of view, from the auditing point of view, from the different perspective. They will raise their queries, they will raise their concerns, which you have to understand. Based on their queries, based on their concerns, see what you can do to avoid it. You cannot just like that say it's only debit credit. No, you post it here, put it there, keep it here. It is not going to serve the purpose. Tomorrow when somebody is picking that a transaction, when somebody is asking them to explain, there should be a proper audit trail. There should be a proper documentation sequencing. This is the original entry. After this is what happened. After this is what happened. For everything, we are all aware that you have a process flow. For everything, there is a process flow. If you talk about bank entries, initially you will post the bank entry. For the bank entry, you are going to debit credit your sub account. And when you debit credit your sub account initially, you are going to park the transaction in the sub account, which is not reflecting in your bank main balance until you perform the BRS. BRS you are going to perform on a daily basis, or twice a week, or once a week. But you need to make sure at the end of the month your BRS is thorough. your BRS is completed. Once your BRS is completed at the end of the month, make sure reconciled transactions are updated in your bank main account, unreconciled transactions are updated in your sub account. And when you look at the bank statement, this is exactly tallying. All these points you need to make sure as a consultant, wherever user is having a queries, issues, problems, as a FICO consultant, you have to help them closing the business procedures. You're not supposed to see it from the technical BRS, a technical accounting, a debit credit posting. See it from their business point of view. If you look at it from the technical point of view, you will always end up looking at debit credit, error is coming, simulate, no error, error message and all. Don't see it from that perspective. See it from the business point of view. Try to understand what they are doing, why they are doing, what is their procedure, what is the process, and how you can simplify it, how you can close it faster. If your user is trying to clear one by one, trying to match and all, it will take a lot of time for them to close the month. Initially, what you will do, you can simply tell them, okay, you match everything in the Excel sheet. Take out one Excel sheet, match whatever is tallying with your bank statement. Let us know how you are matching it, or which entry is to be matched, or what entry is part of your bank statement which can be moved from your sub account to main account. Once they do the matching and when they give you the data, make sure you can create one upload template, maybe a BDC, maybe an LSMW, through which they can straight away upload the data. They can move the entries from sub account to main account, because you are not supposed to delay your initial month close or your first month close for the reason that there are issues in SAP. For the purpose that there are issues in SAP, we are not able to close or we are not able to perform BRS in SAP, system is not matching anything. We uploaded the statement, but nothing is happening. This kind of information, this kind of a feedback, we are not supposed to get. And if you wanted to avoid these kind of things, at the beginning itself, you have to be very careful. At the beginning itself, you have to be very careful, because nobody may have time to explain you all these things. In your project, maybe your senior consultant, lead, whosoever, they may be able to tell you, they may not be able to tell you due to different reasons. But as a FICO consultant, you have to be careful, you have to be conscious. If you are working on it tomorrow, when there are any issues which are coming up, you are the responsible person to address the issues. If there are any queries, you are the responsible person to resolve, anticipate, or just try to imagine if this is the situation, what could be the problem, what could be the challenges that you can foresee in future. If you get any issues, if you get any challenges, what could be the reason and how you are going to resolve it. Because you are the one who is going to work in the project, this you are clear. And tomorrow when your client is working, definitely issues will come, because nothing is smooth once you go live in SAP. It takes a little time for you to stabilize the system. Once you go live, the first target is to stabilize the system. For the system stabilization, it will take a little time. Meaning, when you're talking about system stabilization, initial issues will be there, because your client would not have given end-to-end scenarios at the beginning. You would not have understood end-to-end scenario at the beginning. What you would have configured is overall business process, whether it is functioning or not. Later on, as they start using the SAP system, they will come to know, okay, this is working like this. Ideally, it is supposed to be like this. Then minute changes will come, small issues, bugs will be identified. You are going to fine tune the system. It will take couple of months, it may take 6 months, it may take 1 year, but within 1 year, majority any SAP system will be stabilized. Stabilized, I mean to say, day-to-day procedures, day-to-day operations, whatever your client is doing, will not be having any issues, will not be having any problem. They should not say that this entry I wanted to post, but I don't know how to post it. We don't have any process how to record the entry. We do not have a particular report. We do not have certain control points. All these things will be addressed, will be resolved within a year. That is where you are going to call it as the system is stabilized. When you say that the system is stabilized, you will be receiving very less queries, very less issues, very less errors from the user, because they are now comfortable with the system. They are able to work on the system confidently without any errors. Very rarely users will reach out to you stating this error is coming, this is not working, that is not working, because your system is now stabilized. Any procedure, any process that you are using on a daily basis is working according to your requirement. Any issues, any improvements related to that, you would have already done it. That is where you call it as system stabilization. Once your system is stabilized, then you are going to work on system improvement, process improvement. When you're talking about system improvement, process improvement, we are talking about currently you're working on BRS, you're currently doing it manually, or you're currently loading it automatically using EBS. Now there are certain errors which are coming every time when you upload this statement. Only 60% of the entries are getting posted, 70% of the entries are getting posted, or 80% are getting posted. 20 to 30% is unreconciled every time you upload a statement. Now you need to focus on this area. Why our matching or why our statement is posting only 60 to 80 percentage of the transactions whenever you load the transaction? For what reason this 20% or minimum 20% is not getting recorded, not getting matched, not getting posted from your bank reconciliation in initial one go? Why? What are the possible reasons? What kind of errors that we were receiving in the last 3 months, in the last 6 months, in the last 1 year? You will pull the historical data. For what reasons your BRS is not matching certain entries in the last 3 months or 6 months, 1 year, whatever the way that you are going to adopt. Then you will come to know, okay, because of X reason, because of Y reason, because of Z reason. Now you have to think if there is anything that you can do to match these things also. Any fine tuning you can do in the system, any tweaking that you can do in the system, or any modification, user discipline, user training. For what reason you are getting these errors? You wanted to show the improvement to the client. Because it is working fine, your client is also working fine, but over a period of time, maybe after 1 year, once the system is stabilized, your client, your user is expecting for the process improvement. They're expecting from the process improvement, and now they start saying that currently I am running my business with a department called accounts receivable or treasury department, banking department, in which I have, let's say, 10 users. Before I brought SAP, there are 10 users. After I brought SAP, I have 10 users. Now it's been 1 year. Everything is working fine. You automated BRS, everything. But still my 10 users are working. I do not want 10 users to work on the system for BRS. I want to reduce my head count. Your client will tell that I want to reduce the head count. I want to reduce the team size from 10 to 6 probably, or at least 5. 50% of the manpower I have to reduce. I have to show the cost benefit to the company management. Now what I'll do, I need to reduce it, meaning you need to automate the things. For me to automate the things, I need to reduce the head count. Then I need to see the process improvement. What kind of improvements can you suggest? Now that is where you need to have thorough understanding on the existing business process of your client, how they are using it, what are the issues that they are facing in it, how best you can bring this process in such a way that your requirements are fulfilled and your client will save a lot of time, and this time whatever you are saving will give them a cost benefit. And when you are able to show this, when you are able to showcase this, these things are supposed to be mini projects in the system. When I say mini project, you are going to revamp the project, you are going to revise the project, redesign the process, wherein you are going to simplify things. If there are any programs, if there are any reports that they are using it, ideally the reports are taking longer time and all, then you are going to use the code optimization. You say that program optimization, report optimization. Currently when you run a report, assuming it is giving you data output in 15 minutes, now you with the help of the ABAP, with the help of the technical team, by understanding all the possible scenarios, you are going to amend the logics. When you amend the logic, you are optimizing the program. When you're optimizing the program, instead of giving you the output in 15 minutes, you may get the output in 2 to 3 minutes, or less than 5 minutes you will get the output, whereas previously the outputs are coming in 15 minutes, meaning your reports are working faster. Now all these kind of things is what you have to think from the business process point of view. Only when you understand what is your business process, how they are currently using it, how SAP is designed for it, how your users are working, only when you know these kind of things practically, it is possible for us to understand, think from a client point of view, think from a business point of view. Otherwise we will end up thinking from the SAP point of view. This will not allow us to grow. This will not allow us to understand the conceptual things in SAP. This will not allow us to talk comfortably, confidently to the client. Forget about talking to the others. When you're working for a client, to your users, make sure you are confident. If I am working for a client called ABC Private Limited, I need to make sure to the ABC Private Limited users, to the ABC Private Limited clients, I can talk confidently, because What they talk only about their business process. What I need to understand, I need to understand their business process only. I need to provide solutions, I need to provide guidance on their business process only. Everywhere it is ABC business process, ABC company business process. If you are able to focus on that ABC business process, everything automatically come into your picture. Instead of ABC business process, we try to focus on SAP business process. SAP business process, ABC business process can be same, can be different. Majoritarily, these will have the differences. Majoritarily, these will have differences. Those differences is what you need to catch. More or less, it is the same, but minute changes will be there. 10%, 20%, 30% changes will be there. If you are able to focus on these changes, what is your client business process, what is the standard SAP business process, if you are able to catch these changes, you can talk confidently to anybody anywhere. You don't have to worry about anything. But how you are focusing there matters a lot. How you are focusing there, how you are understanding those procedures, who will tell you, how you will get to know, is the key point that you need to understand here. Okay, this is with respect to your banking, meaning when you're uploading the bank balances, do not only think about what is my TB balance, how I put the entry debit credit. That is very simple, straightforward, that anybody can do it. But tomorrow when you're asked a cross question, how did you migrate it? After migration, did you face any challenges in BRS? You can upfront tell when somebody is asking you that any issues, any challenges that you faced in your project, tell the same thing. Talk about the same BRS. Say that there was a previous consultant, or you can say that you only uploaded the bank balances, and once we uploaded the bank balances, when they were working on the BRS later on, system was not able to match the bank statement. More than 50% of the transactions are unmatched, unreconciled, because system was not able to identify the check numbers or UTR numbers. System was not able to identify or pick the check numbers, UTR number or transaction reference for BRS. Why this has happened? Now you tell. While uploading the opening balance, I did not notice. I was not aware. You can upfront accept this. Tell that you were the one who uploaded the bank statement. You are not aware that this is supposed to be updated in the assignment column. Tell that client had provided the data. You need to tell client provided the data, but instead of putting that in the assignment column, I have put that in the reference column. Instead of putting it in the assignment column, I have given the check number in the reference column and I have uploaded the data. But when we were performing the bank reconciliation statement, since the assignment column was not same like my algorithm, BRS was not successful. Most of the entries are not getting reconciled because of this reason. Now what I did, I understood that because of this mistake, system is not uploading the statement or entries are not being cleared. I told my client to wait, give me some time. Now I opened the legacy system opening balances of bank balances. I have verified all the documents, all the transaction. Now I know that for every document, what is the check number or the respective transaction reference number. I pull out all the data. I took out all the documents, whatever is posted in SAP. I created a LSMW. Tell that you created a LSMW for FB02 change document, or FB09. There is another T code called FB09 something, wherein you can change the document line item with the help of line item number. Normally, if you wanted to change the document header, if you wanted to change the document line item, you will be using different recordings. FB02 for changing the header part, FB09 for changing the line item part, because when you are changing the line item part, for every document there are multiple line items. There may be one debit, one credit, there may be multiple debits, there may be multiple credits. Now you need to tell the system for which line item you want to make the change. For that you have to put this. Now when you're talking about line item change, you need to understand which table you have to refer, meaning which T code you need to refer. Accordingly create a recording, tell them that this is how you did the recording, and then you uploaded the file in the LSMW. You took the file until create a batch input session, and you made your user to execute the batch input session. Because users will not have LSMW access, as a consultant you will create the LSMW, you will take it until they create a batch input session. Now when it comes to the execute batch input session in your SM35, You will ask your user to select that particular batch input for recording. You will ask them to execute. When they click on execute, automatically system will update all the check numbers in the assignment column. Now when you reprocess the bank statement, automatically everything will get reconciled. Meaning wherever system was not able to perform the BRS matching, it will match it automatically now. Like this you need to talk when you're telling these kind of situations, when you're telling these kind of issues along with the solution. Nobody will put any cross question here. By talking these kind of points, you can engage your interviewer for at least 5 minutes. You can kill your interviewer time for 5 minutes by explaining this, because he will be putting a lot of cross question. For every cross question you should have an answer. Meaning you should prepare in such a way that this was the problem, this was the solution, why the problem happened because of this, why the issue had come because you were new to the project, that was the first time you were working on the cutover activity, before that you did not work and you were not told by anybody, and I thought that this is how we need to do it. At that time I did not realize that the consequences that BRS will work on this, I was not aware of it, I did not think about it. You have to openly tell, you have to accept your mistakes. You should also tell what you have learnt from there, and with this lessons how you have performed in your subsequent project so far, and what is your mindset, what is your thinking about SAP now. When you are able to explain all these points in your interview, now see who is going to reject you. Nobody will reject when you talk these points, everybody will blindly select you, because you are talking about the points which are practically followed by a real-time consultant. Meaning the example that you're taking, issues that you're talking have to be genuine, have to be a little explanatory, where you're talking about certain practical issue. It's not about there is an error, I took this error, I go to configuration, I created a change request. This everybody will tell this. Everybody will tell this point. You tell, prepare those points, but along with it, wherever possible, have these kind of ready-made solutions, at least 2 to 3, at least 3 to 5 you have it ready-made. When you're talking about any particular functionality, wherever possible, if you find the situation is correct, add some story here and then explain it, and then you will be surprised, your interviewer will get connected to your point, he will start asking you different questions from there only. You engage them, talk in such a way that he will get connected to what you're talking. Tell that this was the problem, then he will tell why you did not check. It will come to a different mode. It will not be any kind of question and answer. It will become kind of a conversation. Your interview will become a conversation, because he's interested in why this issue had happened, and tell that why nobody verified it. Now you answer for everything in such a way that the other person will believe in you. Okay, so this is with respect to your bank account. Next one, the same logic is applied for every account. Your incoming account, outgoing account, check, transfer, whatsoever, same logic is applied. You need to make sure these points you will make a note of it. Instead of telling only the accounting entry how you will post it, try to explain the subsequent procedures after this. Okay, next one, you have stock account. When you're talking about stock account, we are basically talking about something related to inventory.
Ajay, can you tell me what is the full form of the UTR account? What is the UTR account? UTR number, sorry, UTR number.
UTR is nothing but unique transaction reference. Whenever you do a fund transfer, account to account transfer, you get some reference number, right? Transaction reference number.
Yes.
So that is nothing but UTR. It is unique for every transaction. That is why you call it as unique transaction reference number.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, when it comes to stock account, we are all aware, whenever you talk about stock, you are talking about FIMM integration. Stock balances are not uploaded by FI consultant. Stock balances are uploaded by consultant. When we are talking about stock balances are uploaded by consultant, here first thing what you need to do is, before they load the material, your client will provide the list of material. When your client is providing the list of material, they will give you the classification. These are the raw material, these are the semi-finished material, these are the finished material, these are the packing material. Likewise, a list will be shared. Once the list is prepared, once the list is shared, This list is basically taken by the guy. List is basically taken by the consultant, and then he will consolidate all the material list, and along with the material list your client will also provide the price of it, because in the legacy system whatever they are using, for every material there is a price. This price is nothing but inventory valuation or material valuation. You can value your material with standard price. You can also value your material with moving average price. If you are valuating your material with a standard price, it is always valuated with a fixed price. If you are valuating your material with moving average price, it is a dynamic price. When I say dynamic price, it will keep on fluctuating based on the transaction. Based on the transaction movement, based on the material movement, your price of the moving average is moving. It is moving because it is average price. It is always your total stock value divided by total stock quantity. It's always total stock value divided by total stock quantity. Now what we need to do, once the material master is collected by the consultant, he will tell you this is the list of raw material, this is the list of semi-finished, finished, packing, whatever the classification of material that they have, that list will be prepared and shared by the consultant. And in this list, as a FICO consultant, you need to validate how many raw materials are there, how many respective semi-finished, finished packing are there. For every material, there is a respective valuation class. If it is raw material, for raw material, there may be a valuation class. Your consultant will put the respective valuation class, and he will put the price control, whether it is a standard price or moving average price. This would have been already discussed with the client during the initial discussion itself. During the initial discussion itself, it would have been agreed that okay, we will be evaluating with the standard price or we will be evaluating with moving average price. Accordingly, what system will do, system will require you to put standard price or moving average price. Now if your production module is implemented, if your PP module is implemented, if you are evaluating the material with the standard price, you need to estimate the cost for every material, meaning standard cost estimation will have to be performed. If you do not have the standard price, if you are using only the moving average price, straight away you will put the moving average price, assuming that either standard price or moving average price is updated in the material master. Now all the materials are, in every material now there is a price. All the materials are created, now in every material there is a price. Now for every material, whatever the price that it is available currently, you can pick it from the MBEW table. If you go to a table called MBEW, if you put your plant or if you put your company code, if you run the report, you will get to know all the materials whatever is available in that particular plant, whether that material is valuated with the standard or moving average price, what is the current price of the material. You will get to know from the material master table, from the material table called MBEW. This is your inventory valuation or material valuation table. Download the data from here. Download the data from here. You would have received a master file from the client or from the user, wherein they would have mentioned these are the materials which we have and this is the price for every material, how we are valuating it. Do a quick VLOOKUP. Make sure that the material price that your client had provided, material price which your consultant had uploaded, standard cost estimation which has been executed by your CO consultant, everything is matching, meaning the prices are aligned now. Prices are properly updated. Now, once all this price verification is completed, your consultant will go to the material master and he will say that all the materials are updated, all the views are properly extended. views, ST views, PP views, CO views, accounting views are properly extended. Then he will start uploading the data. When he is starting to upload the data, what he will do, he is concerned only about the material quantity. When we say consultant is concerned only about the material quantity, because from the material master side, from the side, he is only talking about inventory valuation. When he is talking about inventory valuation, in which plant, which storage location, what is the available quantity, that is what he is concerned about. He is going to receive the same data. Your client will tell for Mumbai plant, in the Mumbai I have 3 locations. In Mumbai plant, location number 1, 500 is the available quantity. In the Mumbai plant, location number 2, 300 available quantity. In the Mumbai plant third location, 100 available quantity. Likewise, when your client had given the material breakup, your consultant will load in the accordingly. He'll put the plant, he will put the storage location, he will tell at this plant in this storage location quantity available, which means the closing stock is 500. He will put closing stock, he will press enter, he will click on save. When he clicks on save with the closing stock, what system will do for that particular material, in the material master there is a price. For this material, in the material master there is a price. What he has put? He has put 500 quantity. 500 quantity multiplied by, for example, 10 rupees is the price there. 500 multiplied by 10. If system is taking 500 multiplied by 10, I would say that 500 into 10 approximately 5000 rupees. If I say 500 into 10, if it is 5000 rupees, system is going to debit 5000 to material account. System is going to credit your data takeover account for 5000 rupees. Now, you need to look at, this is assuming raw material. Raw material has come to 5000 rupees. Look at your system. When you look at your system, you would have got the same value of 5000 rupees. And now you need to look at the trial balance. In the trial balance, look at what is the raw material value in the TB. It has to be 5000. Now with the help of material master consultant, which means consultant data upload, it has brought same 5000. Value is matching. Agreed. Similarly, the second type of material, third type of material, same thing is going to happen. For the second type of material, third type of material, same thing is going to happen. You need to verify. You need to verify whether everything is working fine or not. Sometimes what will happen, there may be some differences. There may be some minute differences. For these minute differences, if your CO is implemented, you are going to perform the material revaluations and all. Cost, your material ledger run, ML run, CK, ML, CP, these kind of things, when you execute, material will be actualized. Initially, your material is valuated with preliminary valuation. Initially, you will have preliminary valuation. If you have the actual costing enabled, material ledger activation is done, actual valuation is enabled, then you have to work on, you have to execute the material ledger ML run. Otherwise, it is not required. If you revalidate the inventory valuation, automatically system will realign. Any price differences which you have got will be loaded into the material master or into the material price, meaning your stock values are uploaded by consultant. Do not tell you uploaded it. In case if somebody is asking you how did you upload your material balances, don't tell material account debit or inventory account debit, your data takeover account credit, you are gone, because nowhere this will happen. Why this is not going to happen? Because material is uploaded based on the material number only. It is similar to subledger. The way you cannot post directly to the accounts payable, the way you cannot directly post to the accounts receivable, the way you cannot directly post to the fixed asset GL account, in the similar way you cannot post to the material GL account. Accounts payable must be posted using vendor account, accounts receivable must be posted using customer account, fixed asset GL account must be posted using respective asset number. In the similar way, inventory GL account must be posted using material GL account. Using material GL account. For that reason only you are going to maintain FIMM integration. Based on every material, system will determine what is the corresponding GL account for it. How system is going to identify? In the material master, you are going to put valuation class. Against valuation class, based on the plant, you are going to create the GL account determination. All these points will be triggered when the moment you try to record any entry to the material. With the help of this combination, system will automatically determine what is the GL account, and automatically that GL account will be debited or credited. And once this activity is completed, you need to take only the material GL account, run the report, make sure whether the material GL account balances are agreeing according to the trial balance or not. According to trial balance or not, then accordingly inform, communicate with your user client, then they will agree to it. Because sometimes whatever the data that they load initially, whatever the data that they have given finally, maybe some fluctuations may be there. Initially they will give you the rough approximated number, but when they actually give the inventory, there may be some minute changes, meaning a little quantity may be more, a little quantity may be less. So your TB may not match to the extent of the differences. Now these differences, what they will do, they say you adjust in this particular account, not in the material. Some other account they will adjust it. When we say some other account, maybe your unrealized loss gain account, they will adjust it because your inventory is showing more balance or showing less balance, whatever was given in the initial trial balance. Now they cannot change the TB because material is supposed to be evaluated like this only, because this is the final count, final quantity, whatever is counted physically. Now any differences that you are getting, they will be adjusting it in the majoritarily unrealized exchange loss gain GL account. Okay, this is about your inventory account. Next one, when you're talking about open item GL account, balance sheet. As you know, any balance sheet account can become open item management provided you want to monitor what is payable, what is receivable. Now, if you are monitoring open item management, what you will do here is you need to make sure which accounts are open item management, any current asset in nature, any current liability in nature, you typically create as a open item management. Ask your client to provide all the transaction detail. Transaction detail, we mean to say, for every transaction there should be a open item recorded. Open item means not balance. Open item means not balance. Open item means individual transaction you have to load. If there are 100 open transactions, you will be uploading 100 open items into SAP. 100 open item transactions represent 100 open items you will be loading into SAP. Now for this 100 open items, you need to understand what is the logic. Logic, I mean to say, what is the key information that is needed, that is required for it. All this key information you need to understand. This key information details you will have to get from your user. Depending on the nature of account, you need to understand what inputs are required for you to load it and where you need to capture it. You have something called a clearing function, clearing activity. The moment you talk about open item, you also need to talk about clearing item or cleared item, and the open item, cleared item is combined with the help of clearing, vendor clearing, customer clearing, GL clearing, post with clearing. This is something that you will be executing in the production system after go live. When you are trying to clear any account, any open item, there should be a logic. When I say there should be a logic, you are going to clear the open item based on assignment column, based on the reference column, based on some amount, document number, whether you are capturing this information or not. Because whatever you are loading into SAP, it is not representing any data related to legacy. Now your matching is based on the legacy system, because the original transaction took place in legacy. From legacy, what information you are capturing, how you are matching it in the SAP system is what you need to decide. Otherwise, while clearing or while trying to clear the open item, this will create unnecessary problem. Okay, take all the details and then understand which information is supposed to be loaded in which field. Reference, header text, and then your assignment, line item text. Choose accordingly how you are going to perform the clearing. As per that, you need to map the data and then load the information. This is all about your open item. Next one, you have other GL. When you're talking about other GL, you're typically talking about GL accounts which is other than customer, other than vendor, other than your inventory, other than fixed asset, other than cash, other than bank, other than balance sheet open item. Meaning balance sheet, non-open item GL account, all the P&L accounts. Balance sheet, non-open item, all the P&L account, it's a direct single entry. When I say it's a direct single entry, whatever the account balance that you have, that account balance depending on the debit, credit, you have to put. If TB shows debit, put that account on the debit side, take over account on the credit side. If the TB shows credit balance, put it on the credit side, take over account on the debit side. Then your opening balance upload, all the entries are completed. Once all the opening entries are completed, first thing that you need to do is go to SAP, download the trial balance. Go to SAP, download the trial balance, make sure your TB becomes 0. First point of verification is your total TB is becoming 0. Once this TB is becoming 0, second verification is go to all the technical accounts or takeover accounts. When you go to all the technical accounts or all the takeover account, ensure total of your technical account or total of your takeover account is becoming 0, because your initial TB is becoming 0. When you upload the data through technical account, through takeover account, your TB is also supposed to become 0. Your TB is also supposed to become 0. Ensure your TB is becoming 0 or not. Once your TB is becoming 0, you are confident that yes, the way that I loaded the data is correct now. The way I loaded the data is correct now. Everything is in line. Now you have to download the data. When you're downloading the data, first download the total trial balance. In the total trial balance, you will get to know account wise closing balance. Whatever is uploaded, in that way you will get it. Once you download this data, trial balance, your client will also ask you for the respective breakup of each account. When you say breakup, the regular account breakup you will ask your client to execute the respective FAGLL03 or FAGLB03, whatever. But for the customer, for the vendor, fixed asset, all the open item, wherever detailed transactions are posted, don't wait until your client downloads and all, because when he downloads the data, he may be able to put a proper layout where all the information is updated or not. From your side, what you do, download all the customer open item. Download all the customer open items, download all the vendor open items, download the asset register, download the bank open items, and then your inventory GL listing, whatever you have, cash account, cash GL listing, and wherever you have the segregation, pull out all the details. From your side, do a one level verification. Once you are convinced, yes, everything is matched, then attach all the files, share it to your client. Ask them to verify and then confirm. Now you cannot just like that give only the trial balance, ask them to confirm. They will not confirm it unless they look at individual account balances. They will not be confirming just like that unless they see individual account balances, unless they do their side reconciliation. Now when you're talking about their side reconciliation, they will look at each account balances, how it was reflecting in the legacy system, and what details were shared to you for the data loading in SAP. Accordingly, they will do a quick VLOOKUPs. And then they will confirm, yes, customer account balances are matching, vendor is matching, account fixed asset is matching, bank balances, cash journal, inventory values are matching, everything seems to be fine. That is when they are going to give you the confirmation, else they will not give. If they are finding any corrections, any changes, it is quite common that they might find some corrections, they might find some changes, because when they give the data, they will not have so much time for them to sit, understand, provide you in detailed way. They will be also under pressure. They will be giving you the data at last minute. Some issues, the here and there is possible. If such things are happening, minute corrections, you will accept the corrections, you will do it in the production system. If these corrections are not required, not recommended, you'll have to see the alternative approach, how you are going to rectify them. Once you receive this confirmation, then you are good to go for go live. Once you receive the confirmation, you are good to go for go live. Once you go live, your client will start working on the regular day-to-day transactions. And after this cutover data is loaded, there is something called catchover data. When you're talking about catchover data, for catchover data, there is no trial balance. Catchover data is as simple as like your regular data entry, regular transaction posting. Meaning, if you are going live in the month of March, all the March month transactions until your go live date is represented as catchover data. So for catchover, we will be providing the templates. Template is nothing but you will be simply sharing the BDC template to the user. When I say BDC template will simply talk about debit, credit, GL account, cost center, amount. That's it. Debit, credit, GL account, amount, cost center, profit center. Any narration that they want to put, that they will put it there, for which you will have a BDC template. When you say BDC template, single sheet you will provide. In the single Excel file, you are going to put separate sheet. Like you have sheet number 1, 2 and all. Sheet number 1 you will say FI, not FI. Sheet number 1 you may say GL. Sheet number 2 you will say AP. Sheet number 3 you will say AR. Sheet number 4 you will say cash, bank, all these kind of things. And for this, what we will do, all the finance transactions only. When I say all the finance transactions, whatever the transactions that they did in the go live month, they will be updating in the Excel sheet along with the debit credit information, and they will share it with you. What you will do, you will fill the remaining fields in the template, you will upload it. This is a BDC upload. You don't do anything here. Debit, credit, every information is given to you by the client. In short, total journal entry is provided to you in the catch over activity. Only trial balance, either debit side or credit side, is provided to you in the cutover. Cutover will give you either debit or credit. Catchover will give you debit and credit both. Full accounting entry you will receive in catchover. Half of the accounting entry you will receiving in the cutover. Okay, this catchover you will be uploading it with the help of a BDC process or BDC template. This BDC, what it will do, the moment you upload the data, automatically debit credit entry will get recorded with the help of BDC. Once your BDC entries are posted, your client can see, and then he will confirm that yes, all the entries related to the current month are posted. Now for uploading the cutover data, deadline is before go live. For uploading the cutover data, deadline is before go live. Before you go live the project, you need to make sure cutover data is uploaded, first point. Second point, when you are uploading the catchover data, deadline for the catchover data is before the month close. No matter on what date you are going live, make sure before you before you close the month. For example, you are in the March month, you can upload the catchover data before month end anytime, because that is when you need to make sure all the data related to that particular month. If you are going live in March, all the March month transactions including a catchover must be recorded by the date when you close your March month. Probably you will be closing the March month on 5th of April, 3rd of April, 7th of April, depending on the cutoff date whatever your client has got. Depending on the cutoff date whatever your client has got, accordingly you will be closing the cutover data, your catchover data. And when you are doing the catchover data, make sure you will get all the information, validate, get the confirmation by the user that these entries are correct, then upload it. And then once your catchover data is also completed, you need to assist your client in month end procedure. When you're talking about month end procedure, for every project there is something called month end activity. When you're talking about month end activity, you need to know what are the month end activities and which month end activities are applicable to your client, and activities related to month closure will have to be followed, which is sequence. First activity what, second activity what, third activity is what. You need to give a checklist. You need to give a month end checklist. From the month end checklist you will ask your client to execute one by one. For example, open the exchange, open the period, update the exchange rate, run the depreciation, run the GRIR clearing, clear vendor open items, clear customer open items, check the asset register. Okay, and if you have any pending capitalizations to be done for this particular month, perform all the asset capitalization. If you have any AUC settlement to be done, perform the AUC settlement. You have anything related to controlling like assessment cycle, distribution cycle, cost allocations, internal order settlement, these kind of things, whatever you have, you need to make them, everything is executed in the sequential order according to what you have given, and ensure that everything is done smoothly, there are no issues, there are no errors. Then ask them to download the trial balance. Once all the month end activities are completed, they have to download the trial balance. This downloaded trial balance will be shared to the finance head. I mean to say the finance manager, finance director, they will be reviewing the TB. Once they review the TB, the moment they look at the TB, they will come to know which account is showing what balance. By looking at the account balance, your finance team will tell, yes, this account balance seems to be correct, this is not correct. Why? They know what transactions are happening on a general note. When I say on a general note, they know what is happening in the business. For example, you're talking about bank balances. I would say that I know that in my legacy system, I have somewhere around 50,000. This month, I think I received 20,000. I paid 15,000. So 50,000 plus 20, 70 minus 15. Okay, 70 minus 15 is what? Okay, 55. My bank balance is somewhere around 55. If it is somewhere around 55, they said that yes, this seems to be correct. Nobody will go in depth and then verify. If the number is nearby, if the number is accurate, if the number is the somewhere around what they're thinking in their mind, they say that this is fine, I'm fine with the number. Any adjustments and all, You are going to anyways pass the corrections. Okay, but anywhere if they find no, this the receivable seems to be very less, payable seems to be very high. No, I think we don't have this much payable, we have already paid to the vendor, please verify if anything is not processed. Similarly, if you find less receivable, no, we have made lot of sales, our receivable cannot be this much, we have more receivable, and they say that no, we don't have so much sale, receivable is showing high, see if there is any duplicate or if anything is not posted correctly. Accordingly, you need to guide them how to pull the different reports, how to analyze if they have any query. Meaning until they finalize the first month close, you have to give detailed dedicated support to the finance user. Query can come from anywhere, GL, AP, AR, cash, bank, asset, anything you may receive the query. Make sure you will address the query, you will understand the query, you will make them understand the transaction until the reporting. And until they find, until they close the first month, and until they get go ahead from their business, yes, the first month financials are accepted from SAP, you will not be okay. When I say you will not be okay, when they say no, numbers are not matching, it is not okay and all, you need to sit and then verify. Why numbers are not okay? Current month numbers are okay. They may say that no, I think the opening balance is not correct, or the opening balance is given incorrectly. Any corrections might come when you are in the first month close. Make sure any issue, any error that you are getting, any clarification that you are asked in the first month close as a support from the implementation team, because you are in the hypercare support. After the project, after the go live, as a implementation consultant, whatever the support that you are providing is represented as hypercare support. In this hypercare support, you have to provide dedicated support, because you are the one who implemented the system, you are the one who configured the system, you are the one who tested, who was part of end to end from the beginning until date. So any issue, anything which is coming up, you have to understand it quickly and resolve it quickly. That is the reason the person, whoever is implementing, will be part of the hypercare support. If the client is okay with you, he will say that no, please extend this FICO consultant support for 2 more months. That's where you may be supporting for a few more months in the support project until you hand over all the data, all the knowledge transfer to the other consultant who is taking over your position in the regular support. So this is what usually happens in your implementation project or in your rollout project whenever you work on cutover activity, right from the data loading until the trial balance downloading, getting the trial balance confirmed, and from there on uploading the catchover data, supporting the day-to-day activities for the first month, and closing the first month close. Any issues, any queries that you are getting, make sure you will assist them in such a way that they will be happy with your support, and that should be your target. If you are able to achieve this, you will not find any difficulties anywhere, you will get very good feedback in your project. Else what will happen, this consultant is not able to understand. Please avoid getting this kind of a feedback, especially from the user. Meaning you have to know who is the target user, who is the target person in your client, which user is currently working on this person, who is the decision taker and all. Accordingly you need to work, accordingly you need to give them training, guidance and all, so that they will be able to monitor, they will be able to work on their things smoothly. Otherwise what they will do, they will say that okay, I will do today, I will do tomorrow. At the month end, everything will get accumulated, they will be under immense pressure, and this pressure will be transformed to you at the month end, because they say that these entries are pending, there are this many issues, this is not posting, that is not posting, I'm getting this error, I'm getting that error, because a lot of wrong entries they will post in the first month, because they do not have the clear clarity, clear understanding how to post and all. Left and right they'll post the entries in the first month. As long as debit credit is matching, your controls are bypassed, system will allow you to post the entries. But what if the entries are posted incorrectly? Instead of one account, another account is selected. Instead of one cost center, another cost center. Instead of one profit center, another profit center. Amount typo mistakes are there. All these kind of issues will be sorted out or will be caught during the month end. That is where you will have a lot of pressure, that is where you have a lot of work during your initial month closes of any project, because users are so many, some of them may be aware of it, some of them may not be aware of it, they may get confused. So you cannot blame anybody, you have to sit and then work, you have to resolve all the issues and note down all the issues whatever you are getting in the first month. You need to note down each and every issue, even if the user is raising a query for period is not open, wrong GL account is selected, amount is posted wrong, any issue that is reported to you, each and every issue must be logged. In an Excel sheet, issue tracker, issue log, you have to record every issue that you have received, during your hypercare period, and then the solution that was provided. What is the root cause for the issue? Is this the user understanding issue? Is this the process mapping issue? Is this the configuration issue? And is this the understanding issue? Accordingly, provide the solution. If there is any action to be taken, what is the necessary action? User discipline is required, or missing a configuration is maintained. This is a new process which is not implemented. A new change request is required. Likewise, whatever the solution that you have provided is to be updated in an Excel sheet. And once your project is completed, because once the project is completed, as an implementation consultant from the implementation or rollout, you will be moving out from the project. There will be an end period for the implementation rollout project. On that end date, you will be moving out from the project. Somebody else will take over you, meaning another support team will come in there. There will be a support consultant. To that support consultant, you have to make sure that all this knowledge you will be sharing with them. You cannot sit and explain everything. What you will do, you will share. This is the issue tracker, issue log, whatever we have received during the hypercare period. Now, if everything is closed or any issue is open, that also you need to give open issues or open deliverables, whatever you have, so that if anything is pending which is required technical support or where the functional support is required, accordingly you will make a note of it and you will tell them that this is what it is pending, this is the current status of it, this is what we have done, this is what you need to do going forward. Accordingly, the other person, whosoever is taking over your position in the support, he will say that okay, as per our the KT sessions, everything is clear. As per the KT sessions, everything is clear. Then based on this confirmation only, you will be released from the project. Meaning you have to provide the KT session to the other consultant who is taking over your position, and he has to officially confirm on the email KT session is completed and he is clear with the knowledge whatever you have shared. Otherwise, your project manager will not release you from the project stating no, the consultant is not clear. You have to make sure that the knowledge is completely shared. The consultant is clear with the business process. He can handle the issues. He can support the client on anything that is coming up. It is your responsibility and you need to get that email confirmation. Okay, basically this is what will happen in the implementation project. These are your broad activities that you'll have to remember. Okay, go through all the recordings. I think whatever the sessions that we had on this so far from the last 1 week, go through all the sessions, try to visualize it. When I say try to visualize this, majoritarily I spoke considering you in the project. When I say majoritarily I spoke considering you in the project. As a FICO consultant, considering your level of experience, whatever is possible which you are going to perform, only to that extent we have focused majoritarily. And if you are able to understand these points, if you are able to talk to these points, if you are able to remember these points, that is more than sufficient in any project that you work in future. Wherever you go, wherever you work, these points are more than sufficient. Make sure you understand this, you make a note of all the points, whatever we've discussed, and try to explain it to the other person or list out according to your understanding. Okay, this is what I will be doing, because tomorrow when you're in any interview, people will specifically ask you what was your role, what was your contribution, from where you involved, what exactly you did. They want you to explain in detail. It's if you say that I uploaded the balances, they're not okay. If you say I uploaded cash balances, you need to talk the cash functionality, you need to talk about cash journal and all, whatever we discussed, everything you need to talk. Otherwise, you're only talking about the debit this, credit this, that anybody will tell. But how you uploaded it, after uploading, what will happen once your project is gone live, all these things, if you're able to connect, if you're able to relate, the other person will believe in you that yes, you have the knowledge. And this feedback, this confirmation is what you will have to get. When you get this information, when you get this feedback, you don't have to worry about anything. Okay, I am stopping this here today. The further points on this we will be discussing in the next session, that is tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Sir, one question, sir.